Good afternoon everyone. This is Vanaja, lecturer in computer science, working at TSWRDC Suryapet. Students, today you are going to learn the concept called arrays in C. On the completion of this session, student will be able to understand importance of an arrays, declaration and initialization of an array, example using an arrays. These are the outcomes you are going to get it after this session. So these are the topics you are going to discuss: array declaration, array initialization, reading array elements, accessing and printing array elements. Before getting into a technical definition of an array, let's take a look at general example. All of you, what can you see here? First figure, this is a textbook, right? So textbook is a collection of pages of similar type, and all these pages are having the page numbers. If you want to go to a particular concept, you go with the page number, and all these pages are accessed by a title, same title, right? So array also can be defined as collection of elements, same type of elements or same type of objects accessed by a common name. This is called an array. See the other examples, right side, collection of similar type of mouses. Yes, this I can say it as array, mouse array. And see the next diagram, collection of similar type of laptops. So this is also array. And the similar type of mobiles. So this is also called as an array. See the last diagram which is marked with a cross. Can I say this is an array? No, because you can see here dissimilar type of objects. You can see here keyboard, mouse, tabs are different type of objects. So I cannot say this is an array, right? Hope you understand what is meant by array. Now let's get into a technical definition of an array. An array is a collection of data elements of homogeneous types and are accessed by a common name. Now let's split the definition. What is meant by data element? Always computers deal with the data. Whatever we explain, we have to talk in terms of the data only. So the data could be a numerical data, right? Or it could be a character data. Numerical data, again we have here integer or floating point numbers. Remember, in any programming language, if you are using any data, that data type must be declared. So if you are using the integer type data, so the data type available in C language is int. And if you are using the floating point numbers, we have a data type called float and double. If you are using the character data, we have a data type called char. So these are the keywords you are using in a C language. For example, if you want, if you are representing the integer data, if you are grouping a 5 student ages, let us say 10, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So this is a group of ages of 5 students of type int, and all this data is accessed by a name called age. See here, we grouped these 5 elements of same type, that is int, and are accessed by a common name, that is age. So this represents the 5 student ages of type what? Integer. Say here you can use float and double. If you want to have float, means you know, after if numbers are represented with the decimal point, then you can call it as a floating point numbers. So after decimal point, if you want to represent a more number of precisions, then you can go for the double. Suppose if you want to group of 5 employees bank balances, let us say here 2000.57 and 3000.6 and 4000.89, 5000.90 and 6000 something. So this represents, these are all what? Floating point numbers. So this I can take it as name as balance, and all this type, all this data type is what? Float. So here we grouped same type of elements, that is we grouped 5 floating point numbers and we have named it as balance. So this is called a balance array of floating point numbers. Now coming to the character. So what is meant by character? A character is enclosed in a single quotes is called a character. Suppose if you want to represent vowels from the alphabet set. Now let's see A, E, I, O, U. Right? So this is the character array. Now I can name this as vowel. And what is the data type of this? This is called a character array. We have seen integer array, we have seen a float array, and we have seen a character array. Right? So hope you understand what is meant by array. Now let's see why array is needed. For example, in a class 40 students are there. If you want to store one student marks, how would you store? Let's see with the single variable. If you want to store one student marks, how would you store? Let us take data type int and a is equals to 50. This is a one student marks. I want to store a second student marks. Yes, I can take another integer variable and this is 60. If you want to store 5 student marks, yes, I can take these mean 5 variables C and this is, and all this data type is int, right? These are the 5 variables for storing the marks. But in a class there are 50 students are there, 100 students are there. How would you store? Would you declare all these 100 variables and store it in memory? No, that is an inefficient way of programming. In that case, what we can do? We can go for the arrays. Here you can extend the definition of an array is a single variable which stores the multiple values. Array is a single variable which stores the multiple values. So we'll see now how would you declare the array. See this array declaration. Syntax. So syntax means what is the rule you have to follow while declaring an array. Data type, next array name. Data type, I already told you what is meant by data type. Any variable, when you are using any variable, you must declare the data type. Data type, array name, and the size is n. So I'll write here data type, array name, and the size of the array. This is the data type. This is the data type. So data type could be a float, int, or character, or any data type which is supported by the C language. And array name, this is a user defined name. So any name you can give it. And n is how many number of elements you are going to store in an array. That is the size of the array. For example, int, data type, I am taking it as int. And what is the array name? So I can take any array name. So let us go with the previous example only. So age is an array and size is a 5. So what did you understand with this? Data type is int, age is an array name, of size how many elements? 5. Age is an integer array having 5 elements. Similarly, you see the other data types, float, b of 20. What is the meaning of this? B is a float array having the 20 elements. Double, C is a double array having the 30 elements. Character, D is a character array having the 7 characters. So this is the declaration of an arrays. But how are these elements are identified uniquely? We are saying age is an integer array having the 5 elements, but we can say here only single name. But where are the how these array elements identified uniquely? By their indices. Index is the relative position of a element in an array. Let us see example. So I am taking an array and the graphical representation of array is like this. Let us take array elements are 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. In C, array index starts from 0. So, first element index is 0 and the next element index is 1 and the next element index is 2, 3 and the last element index is what? 4. If there are 5 elements, since we started from 0, so the last element index is what? 4. If there are 10 elements, then what are the valid indices? 0, 1, 2 up to 9. There are 10 elements, so we started from 0, so valid indices are 0 to 9. So that means if there are n elements, what are the indices, possible indices? 0, 1, 2 up to last element is, index is n minus 1. Now these are the indices, but how the element is identified? By using the index. Now what is the name of this array? We will take it, name of the array is A. Name of the array is A and the indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and the values are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now how would you represent this first element? What is the name of the array? A. In square brackets we have to keep the index. This represents the first element. First element is represented by A of 0. A of 1 represents the second element. A of 2 is the third element. Similar, last element is represented with A of 3. This is the fifth element. What is the first element? A of 0 is 10. So this is equals to 10 and A of 1 is 20 and A of 2 is 30, A of 4 is what? 50. We have not written here A of 3. So A of 3 is the fourth element, is what? 40. So this is the way of identifying the array values, right? And see the other example. This is what? Int marks of 10. So what is array name there? Marks array. Marks is an integer array having 10 elements, 10 values. So the values are 95, 89, 90, 75. So we have last element is 96. And what are the indices for the 10 elements of an array? First element is 0, the next is 1, 2, the last element is 9. So marks, how would you what is the first element representation? Marks of 0. So is what? 95. Marks of 1 is 89 and marks of 2 is 90. Last marks of 9 is the 10th element, that value is what? 96. So this is a way of identifying the array values. One important point here you should understand, how are these elements stored in the memory? That is important. Let us go with a single variable. I will just take int A is equals to 50, B is equals to 60 and C is equals to 70. These are the three variables we have declared. How are these three variables stored in a memory? Let us assume this is a memory and each memory location identified by its address. Let us say this address is 1000 and somewhere here we have 2000 address and somewhere here we have 3000 address. Remember, any variable you are using, some bytes of space is allocated in a memory. How many bytes of space it allocates? That depends on the data type of the variable. Here, and of course that internally depends on the architecture of the computer. If it is a 16-bit computer, 16-bit architecture of a computer, for integer variable it allocates the 2 bytes of memory, right? Now here int A is equals to 50, that means 2 bytes of memory is allocated for A. So that means here in 1000 and 1001 location, in these two locations 50 is represented. Since int, the data type of this is int, it takes the 2 bytes of memory. In 16-bit computer, if it is a 32-bit computers, it takes the 4 bytes of memory, right? Similarly for B, okay, here somewhere here it is 60, so 2000 and 2001 locations are reserved for the 60, value 60, and 3000 location somewhere here 70. One point here you should understand, we have declared 3 variables A, B, C. In memory, they are not allocated, they are not stored in a contiguous manner. Though they are declared in a single line, they have not allocated in a continuous memory location. Wherever space is there it allocates. Randomly it allocates. That is in case of a single variable declaration. But whereas in arrays, the memory is allocated contiguous manner. So how it is allocated? Let's go with this example only. This is a array and 5 elements, right? 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Let us start. The memory location is 1000 and this is 1002, this is 1004 and this is 1006 and this is 1008. Array elements are stored in a contiguous manner. Say these are the values and these are the memory locations. First, since it is an integer array, it is taking 2 bytes of memories, right? 1000 and 1001 is for the element value 10, 1002 and 1003 for the 20, 1004 and 5 is for the 30, 1006 and 7 is for the 40 element, 1008 and 9 is for the 50. So array elements are arranged in a contiguous memory locations. This is a point you have to note it down. See the diagram. So the same diagram I have drawn it on the board. So this is the memory visualization. Similarly, you try for the float array and the double array, right? Now we'll see. Till now we have seen what is meant by array, why array is needed, and how to declare an array. Now let's see how array is initialized. So initialization can be done in 2 ways. One is compile time and the other is runtime. What is meant by compile time? If you give a values in the program itself, then it is called a compile time. What is meant by runtime? When you give a values in the execution time, then it is called a runtime. So if you want to check more number of inputs on your program, then you can go for the runtime initialization. So that means on each run you can change the inputs. On the first run you take a first set of inputs and check on your program, and the second run you take another set of inputs and check your program. So that is runtime initialization. Now we'll see first a compile time initialization. Marks, let us say marks array, and this is 5 elements, 5 student marks. So this is with the flower braces, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So array elements are to be given in a curly braces, right? So this is one type of array initialization. How many elements? 5 elements. So we have given a 5 values, right? Next, there is other type of way of giving the values. So here I am not giving the size. So remember, in C every statement ends with the semicolon. So here I have not given the size, but I have given the values. So what is the size of this array? 5. So without giving size also you can give a values. So how the compiler understand the size of the array? So based on the elements you have given in this initialization. So if you have given a 3 elements, the array size will be 3. If you are given a 4 elements, 4. If you are given a 5 elements, then the array size would be 5. So this is second variation, and the third variation is marks 10 and 20. See this, how many elements we have given here? Only 2 elements, right? Then what about the third element, fourth element and fifth element? If you are initialized at least one value, all remaining uninitialized values are initialized with 0. So that means this is a of 0 and this is a of 1. And what about a of 2 and a of 3 and a of 4? So these are initialized with zeros. There is other type of initialization. If you want to initialize all array elements are 0, then I can take like this, int marks of 5 is equals to 0. So this indicates all array elements A0 to A5 are initialized with 0. How? This is the first element is initialized with 0, and first, since at least one element is initialized, remaining all uninitialized values are initialized with 0 only. So that means marks of 5, complete array is initialized with 0. If you want to initialize selected element, selected index value, if you want to initialize it, then you can do like this, marks of 5 is equals to, I will give here 10, what is this? This is the first element, right? A of 0. A of 1 I have not given it. I want to give a of 2. So that's why I have represented in a square brackets. So this represent a of 2 is equals to 30. The next is the next number only. So this represent a of 3 and this represent a of 4. Now what about a of 1? So we have not given, so it is initialized with a 0. So that means here you can give any value in a array. Similarly for the character array, you see this, char a of 8 is equals to TSWREIS. So this is in a double quotes, in a curly braces, char name of 10. So here we have listed separately the comma TSWREIS, and the last character is null. See, every string in a C programming is ends with the null character, but in the first variation we have not given the null character, right? But in case of the second variation, if you are listing the values, you must supply the null character. In the first variation, compiler automatically takes a null character. In these two character variations, you can omit the size of the character array. So this is about the compile time initialization. Now we will see how do we initialize the array in runtime. Generally, if how would you read the single element? Okay, I have declared A using scanf, right? Scanf %d and ampersand A, right? So here whatever the value you give, that value is stored in a address of A, right? If there are 3 elements, now array is multiple values, right? So A, suppose 3, or I will take a 5, array is 5 elements, right? Now that means you have to read 5 times 5 values for this array. So that means this scanf must be repeated 5 times. So that means you can go for the loops. So I is equals to 0, I less than or equals to 4 and I plus plus, because indices starts from 0 to 4. So here scanf %ld and ampersand I. See the first iteration, it takes I is equals to 0. So first iteration, whatever the value we give, that is stored into address of A of 0. So I will give here 10. The second iteration, it takes it increments the I value, so address of 1, 20. So last A of 4 is equals to 50. So this is the way of reading the array elements. And how would you display the array elements? Same, here for printing array elements, what is the statement we give? Printf %d for I is equals to 0, I less than or equals to 4 and I plus plus. If it is a single statement, then curly braces are not required. So this is the printing the array elements. Now let's see this simple example. Just take an array, read the array elements, just print it. Yes, I have taken array, I have read the array elements and print the array elements, right. So before that you must declare the variable, because you are using this variable, that data type must be declared. So that's why I have declared here int. So in the starting you can write header file line and main. So just you have to follow the syntax, right. This is a simple example. Now this is exercise, you have to take it, write a C program to print the sum of array elements, write a C program to find the maximum elements in an array. So please try these two programs, and let's have a small quiz. What is the index number of last element of array with 5 elements? What is the index number of last element of an array with 25 elements? If there are n elements, then what is the last element? Index n minus 1. So here 25 elements, the last element index is what? 24, right. Then what is the valid indices for this array? A of 4 is equals to 2, 4, 6, 8. So always say array index starts from 0. So if there are 4 elements, so what are the valid indices? 0, 1, 2, 3. Then how do you initialize an array in C? So there are 4 multiple choice. You see which one is the correct answer is C. So int A of 3 is equals to, in flower braces we have to give the initialization, right. Then what are the values will be printed for the following array? So this is int A of 5 and you have printed array. You have not given the array values. If you have not given the array values, then it will print the garbage values. So all array values will be garbage value, right. Garbage value means it is a junk value, random value, which we don't know what value it will print. Now how to print the array elements in reverse order? Just try this. Okay, this program we have printed the array in the same order. What is the order? It is stored in the memory. In that order we have printed. But if you want reverse order, then this value should be changed. What? I should start from last element means it should start from the 4, and this is greater than or equals to 0, and this is I minus minus. So this is the code. So finally I conclude this array is a type of the data structure, and which is used to build other type of data structures. So okay, can I say this is a linear data structure? Yes. Previous the diagram we have seen the memory diagram. So all the array elements are arranged in a linear fashion. So that means this array is called a linear data structure and is used to build other data structures like stacks, queues. If you know the arrays concept, you can write the data structure program. With that you can develop the projects also. And this is used in a sorting and a searching of elements. If you are given a set of elements to be sorted, then definitely use the concept of arrays, and searching also, right. And if you take a library example, how are the books arranged? With this concept only. So if you see programming an array, programming with C, 4,000 books are in one rack. Same title and same author are arranged in a one rack. 4,000 C books are in one rack and Balaguru Swami C books are in other rack. So that it is very easy to pick up the books. So this is the conclusion. So hope you understand till now whatever we have discussed, that is with only one dimensional array. So that is a list of elements. The continuation of this class is a two dimensional array that we will see in some other session. Thank you.